Tuesday, everybody. Dave here, and I want to invite you to tomorrow's program, Donkeys Only. Now, if you've got a mule or you got a horse, you can come on in because understanding the donkey is one of the key ways that you can understand the mule and learn how both of them are different from the horse. So yes, we're talking donkeys only, but all of our equine friends, come on in and join us for this free online clinic where we dive in deep into what makes this animal unique. Why did the Lord Jesus choose a donkey to ride into the kingdom? We'll answer that question. But seriously, it's going to be a great program. It's absolutely free, one time only. The link is in the description of the video. Sign up and we'd love to have you there. On top of that, I want to let you know about something special that we're doing towards the end of the year here. Now, y'all know things just keep getting expensive, and we do our best at Queen Valley Mule Ranch to keep our prices as low as possible. But every now and again, our expenses get raised by our suppliers, which means we have a little bit of price adjustment to do. For the first time in the last couple years, we're going to be adjusting our prices slightly. But what that means is you've still got time to lock in 2025 prices before the new year hits. So if you've got your eye on something, there is not going to be a better time before the end of the year for you to go ahead, pull that trigger, get the saddle, get the britchin, get the ground communication kit, whatever it is you're looking for. Get that now, lock in that best price that you can get before the end of the year. That way you don't pay more than you have to when 2026 comes around. Okay, that's it. Enjoy today's program, and we will see you tomorrow for Donkeys Only. Like I said, it's Tuesday. Every Tuesday we get together to talk about mules and donkeys, and there's really only three things you need to know for today. First and foremost, share your name, where you're watching from, and what the weather is like. You've got some folks on YouTube and Facebook already doing that. We sure would love to hear from you as well. Your name, where you're watching from, what the weather is like today. The second thing we ask is that you ask any and every mule or donkey question that you have. Now, my dog is very interested in mules and donkeys. I don't know if you can hear Winnie in the background, but she's going nuts. She's got a whole list of questions that I've got prepared here. So we're going to get to those. But whatever questions you've got, go ahead and put those in the comment section. We will get to those today. And then the third thing we ask is that you share any and every mule, or share this with your friends and family. Let them know that there is a theme park of mule and donkey that you take a trip into every single week, and they're invited. So with that, Dave says, Steve, thank you for the idea of using crushed granite in my stalls. That stuff is relatively inexpensive, packs nice, and sifts through the hay fork when picking up road apples. Steve, why don't you tell us what he's talking about here?
When you're looking at maintenance of your mules, especially with the feet, you want an area that will drain off water and will not get all muddy and fairly easy to clean. And what I have in my 10 by 20 stalls under my roof, which is 10 foot by 10 foot, and then the rest of the stall is open, I have a 10 foot by 10 foot area that is granite. It's called quarter minus. And so it's real small. It's a quarter inch, and less. And what good thing about granite is this, is that it's not so hard that it makes it difficult for the animals to stand in. Okay, it's not so muddy that you can't hardly work with it, and the animal don't have a dry place to stay. So what I did is, picture this: my corral floor is not straight. It starts about 2.5 inches higher for 10 foot, and then it drops down about 2.5 inches, and then goes into a granite and dirt combination. Okay, now the granite helps keep it from getting real muddy, so there's not a lot of clay base to it. But the idea of the first 10 foot is it's higher than where he usually stands a lot. It's the area where they're feeding. And if they want to get in the shade, they can do that. But they can also have a dry place to go uh, with their hooves, because it's really important that especially in your country, your country where you got a lot of rain, uh, then they got to get dry. Okay, otherwise you can have all kinds of hoof problems. Now we have kind of the opposite problem at about 9 inches a year of rain. So around our water hole, around our water, each animal has about a 25-gallon with an automatic water on it, 25 gallons, and makes it easy to clean and stuff. But around that area, we will create it muddy so that it will have enough mud to help keep moisture in the feet. Okay, so that's one way that we do. The other thing that we do is I've got a mixture I make up of pine tar and linseed oil that I put on them to help with the moisture as well. Anyway, it's just a one way to have easy maintenance in an area, because they have to be able to get in out of the mud, especially y'all back there where there's a lot of mud. So that granite helps do that, and it's really easy to clean. Like you said, really easy to clean up.
I just received my mechanical hackamore. Steve, why would somebody want to use a mechanical hackamore?
Oh, it's a wonderful tool. But the downside, it can also be a horrible tool, like anything else in your hands. So the idea of a mechanical hackamore is it communicates to the nose. Mules care more about their nose than they do their mouth. And what I mean by that is they are super sensitive about their nose. And when you train from the nose. That's why the come along rope. That's why the adjusted rope halter, because they learn from their nose. Now, the idea of the mechanical hackamore is there's no bit in their mouth. It's just a nose piece, which is rubber, and it has a bicycle chain on the inside, and then a curved chain underneath. Now, it's imperative that that mechanical hackamore is used correctly. So there's going to be 2 fingers above the nostril to start with, just like the rope halter, and that's where you're going to start using it. And 2 fingers adjustment on the bottom. So on the bottom, we want a 2 fingers adjustment, so that as you're picking up on the shanks of the bit, it will cantilever, and you will touch the top of the nose, the bottom of the nose, and then you will close the mouth. Okay. It is not meant to train with. Okay. It is not meant to be used all the time. You do need to use your bit as well. The nice thing about the Mule Rider's Martingale is this. The Mule Rider's Martingale will help freshen up your mule. What I mean by that is you've been using bit every day, and the mule is starting to get a little cranky. Well, you can go ahead and change out to that mechanical hackamore and do really good. Here's the downside of the mechanical hackamore. Yep. Is that there are a lot of them made out there, just like anything else. Okay. They're made for horses. Mules have only really been on the radar of the tack industry the past 10 years. And so a lot of people will throw the word mule on there, say good for mules, when really it's not good for mules, because these mechanical hackamores, mine are made by reinsmen, and they're made by my design. I knew the original people who started reinsmen back several years ago. They used to make all of my pads and make my bits. And now Circle Y, which is an awesome company, has purchased reinsmen, and they're the ones that makes my bits, made in America, and they're not a Afghan takeoff. Okay, these are true American parts. So that's a long story short. The mechanical hackamore is a wonderful tool, but before you use it, talk to me.
So we got this. Leslie sent this in a little bit earlier today. She says, here's an update on my spirited white mule from Decatur, Illinois. The come along technique has improved her saddling attitude, but she still wants to bolt when I mount. Lunging her in the round pen while saddled helps release her tension and stops her bolting attitude, but I worry this may reinforce bucking as acceptable behavior while the saddle is on. What do you think? She behaves well during groundwork, has never misbehaved on trails. She's had dental work and full vet check with no physical issues reported. The farrier saw no problems also. The previous owner warned me about this behavior with her. I've owned her for 3 years. I've noticed a link between her rank in the herd and her ornery behavior. She has gone from last to second in pecking order. Could this be a factor? I realize a barn with stalls would help, but building one isn't feasible right now. Small round pens create dangerous mud issues in the Midwest. I plan to construct a safe barn in the future. Currently, the barn I have is only for feeding. Thank you for your help on the Tuesday night clinics, Leslie. What would you say here, Steve? Lots of good updates from Leslie.
Yeah, Leslie has really gone through a lot with this mule, and unfortunately, this mule is a lot. A lot of mules are similar to this here. Now, as you saw in the previous pictures, where the mule was throwing a fit, would run off bucking and this sort of thing, and I suggested to her to get the teeth floated. She got it done. She had to have the back checked out, took it to a chiropractor. That's all done. Okay. So now we got the bit squared away, the mouth squared away, we got the back squared away. Now we got attitude. Okay. And pecking order, yeah, that's the pecking orders. You're right. They'll work their way up to second, first, and back down to fifth. Again, they go up and down with that pecking order thing. So letting them run off, bucking, not good. Okay. Put the come along rope on them and go off with them. Okay. Got them all saddled up, go off with them. And when they are thinking about it, when the ears get stiff, when the head elevates, when the ears are laying back, of course, as well, stiff straight up, laying back again too. And just when you start to feel an attitude, okay, here's the word, rip their nose off. Okay. No attitude. And you've already done this before with your mule. We've seen a big difference. You were flapping the stirrups and all this sort of thing. Okay, so we got that part squared away. Now let's go to the stepping off. This happens a lot. Now let me tell you, number one, what do I do to prepare one when I'm going to climb on? I take a hold of the saddle horn, I take a hold of the mane, and I give it a sharp roll back and forth. And I try to knock them off their feet. Then they get solid in their feet. I tip their nose to me so I got left brain thinking about me. And then I put my foot in the stirrup and I start to stand up to throw my leg over. And I try to do it in steps. Put foot in stirrup. Wait. Put weight in stirrup. Wait. Got the idea? Pick up, stand up in the stirrup. Wait. Throw leg quarter way. Wait. Throw leg halfway. Wait. This is your off leg. Throw the leg all the way around. Put feet in the stirrups. Wait. Wait. Then back up a step or two. Here's what happens. A lot of people will climb in the saddle and then go riding off. Don't do that. Climb in the saddle, sit there. Maybe back up a step or two, then go to the right. Maybe back up a step or two and go to the left. Maybe just stand there nice and quiet and then go straight off. You see? Try not to do the same thing every time. But what people do, they climb on and ride off. Now what's the mule going to do? Mule says, oh man, we're going to go. Let's go. We got to go. Stay with the rest of the mules, okay? So that's how that gets started when we get in a hurry. I don't know about it, folks. Here's what you got to understand. All of you got these mules and donkeys to get out of your world, to get out of your everyday mundane or car traffic, three boys, to get out of that world, to escape that for a while. But don't get in a hurry, okay? So would I turn them loose wanting a buck? No. Do I put the come along hitch on them and walk them off and fix their behavior? Yes, okay? So all I can say is that mule's lucky he's got you, Leslie. You've gone through a lot with this mule in the past 3 years. But also remember this, folks. If you've got a 10-year-old mule, which everybody wants, 10, 12 years old, that means you got 8 years of bad behavior. That means you got 8 years of people making inadvertently mistakes and then covering it over. For instance, they'll put a bridle on and rather than pulling the ears back and pulling the bridle ears through, they go ahead and pull it around behind and lock it off. Okay, you shouldn't use them kind of bridles. Fix the problem. There's nothing wrong with you bending their ears over. The problem is you're putting the bit on too tight, which I'm getting into another whole new thing. But go back, Leslie, and use your come along rope, and also I would start with a surcingle, and see if maybe it might be the mule might be a little cold sided. Okay, cold sided means that when you pull the cinches up, they get worried about it and they try to blow up. So you might want to put the surcingle on and try that first.
And I got a question came in from Tracy. She said, I just purchased my first mule. I need to buy a head stall. Do you recommend a one ear or brow band style?
Brow band style. Exactly. I was just talking about that just a second ago. The problem with this, with bridles is this, folks. One bridle is designed for a snaffle bit. Another bridle is designed for a bit with a shank on it. Okay. Another bridle. In other words, the bridle, just because you got a bridle, don't mean it's going to be the right one for your bit. It's going to be also to determine how long your pitch is from the top of the bit to where you got your bridle go into. Folks, don't buy these bridles that you come in behind and buckle them in. Don't do that. Pull their ears through that. You should have a 19-inch brow band. I have the bridles all made up in beta. I love beta. It's easy to maintain. I don't have to keep it oiled. It pretty much balances the way I've got it designed, balances my correctional mouthpiece and my and the other bits if you all decide to use those. But my correctional mouthpiece is what I use more than anything else with that. And then my snaffle bit has a completely different bridle, okay, and reins and this sort of thing.
Next question. This one came in from Derek. Derek said, I have a 4 and 5-year-old. The best way to teach them to lead is...
Well, hey, Dave, you should answer that one. You know, you've got 4 and 5-year-olds. Oh, he's
I
talking
came
about
so
mules.
close to making that joke. I was like, oh, everyone's probably expecting it, but
No,
I should have
I
done
think
it. That was
mule
low-hanging
guy.
fruit.
Okay, so the question is, I have a 4 or 5-year-old. How do I lead it? So you're going to get the ground communication kit. Do not, folks, get it out of your mind to use the halter. And yes, I've been really pushing that these past few years. Forget about the halter. I got a guy call me the other day, said, Steve, all of a sudden my mule just took off and I couldn't hold him back. And I said, why didn't you put the come-along hitch on? He said, well, I thought the come-along hitch was just doing training. And I said, well, it didn't work for you, did it? Evidently you don't have your foundation right. He says, is that what it means? I said, yeah, that's what it means. Folks, listen, put that come-along hitch on all the time. You never know when that mule is going to find a monster. Okay? I mean, they're always looking for monsters. So go back and use the come-along hitch. Forget about the rope halter. It has its own purpose at the right time, and that's mostly with the surcingle. And
Awesome.
hey, I want to mention something here. You mentioned Joe in there someplace. Joe from Oklahoma, Stillwell, Oklahoma. That guy does barbecue out of this world. Oh, man, he sent me some ribs and he sent me some brisket that is just melts in your mouth. I was wondering, why didn't he send me any barbecue sauce with this? Because you got a barbecue sauce, the ribs. I found out why. These ribs are so good, barbecue sauce wouldn't help it. I mean, they just melt off the bone. Anyway, thanks, Joe.
Heather said, Steve, we have taken in a mule that is very underweight. We're giving all the good quality hay she wants. Is there something else we can give in order to add pounds?
Okay, so the question is, number one, how old is the mule? And folks, look, when you use that word hay, there is a lot of different type of hays. And on top of that, what cutting is it? First, second, or third cutting? First and second's no good for equine. Third cutting, yes. Alfalfa, never. Okay? So, and if it's an older mule, listen, when they get to be older mules, as they get older, what happens is they cannot, they don't grind their teeth like normal. grind their feet like normal, and so you can't really get pounds on them. The other thing you got to do is make sure that your teeth are floated. That's really important. And then on top of that, the worming. So give me an idea how old it is. I'll tell you, like I said, once it gets over 18, it gets to be pretty tough as to keeping pounds on these animals. Okay. Another thing you want to think about is not so much putting weight on them, but putting the correct weight on them, because you can founder a mule really easy because of the donkey side of the mule.
Question comes in from Bruce. Let me bring up the screen here. There we go. He says, I have a 4-year-old John Mule. He is very good to be around, no bite, no kick, or mean streak, but he will pull away just out of the blue. He runs around a bit and he's fine. It's like a game. You can walk up and catch him with no problem. I'm ordering the come-along rope and halter. Any suggestions would be appreciated. Steve, would it be appropriate for him to start with that come-along rope and just have his John stand there, and anytime his John looks away, bump? Would that be a great place to start?
Absolutely. Come along rope, watching that video is really important. But he's got some other problems here with this tack. His tack is not correct. Okay. He's got a horse breast collar on, so it's down upon the point of the shoulder, impeding the shoulder. So he's taking the lateral movement out of that. Okay. He's using a snaffle bit. Maybe he's training, but his halter is a big wide halter that just wants the mule to brace. So on top of having pulling away, hey, why would I want to be with you when you don't have me tacked up good? I'm going to use that one, okay? And you're using a wool blanket. And a wool blanket is too long. You don't want it back in the hip of the mule's hip, because it's going to impede the drive off the back end. So your front end, your breast collar is not adjusted correctly, and it's not the correct breast collar for the mule. It's made for a horse. So you're impeding the shoulder, and with your big saddle pad, you're impeding the hip. Next thing is, notice your saddle is up underneath the mule's leg. Okay? So what you're doing on top of that, on top of everything else, you're also crippling the mule, and we got some other video on this too. And the other part is notice that saddle has billets on it. That's the back cinch there. And your back cinch is hanging down almost 2 inches. So you're just climbing on the mule. You already hurt the mule. Saddle setting on top, scapula, breast collar incorrect, and no breeching on top of that. Saddle pad incorrect. So with you hurting the mule as much as you are, why should it be caught? Okay? Why does it want to be caught? All you're going to do is hurt him that much more. So there you are, folks. Don't send me pictures or ask me questions unless you want to hear the truth. There's the truth. You got a horse saddle setting on a mule, and little by little making this mule uncomfortable where he's had enough. So why should he want to go with you when you're hurting him? Dave, this is a good time to go to Miss Eddie's pictures, her front cinch. My front cinch was crippling her mule.
What do you want first? Do you want the cinch first, or do you want...
Picture of the cinch and the cinch sore on the mule.
All right, give me one.
Because here's my cinch, folks. This is my cinch creating problems with this mule. Okay, look at there. Man, there's my cinch. Okay, and notice each one of the loop places. That's all where the cinch is up underneath the front leg. Okay, so it's really wadded up. That means that saddle is really forward, and my cinch has sores on that mule. You got the pictures of the sores, and also we need pictures of the mule saddled first, and then saddled secondly with the correct saddling. There's my cinch, and it sored her mule, and she's mad at me, and I understand that. Yeah, looky there.
And so
okay, there's the cinch sore. See, and look at that cinch. Look how wadded up it is, and look how my cinch sored her that mule. Yep. Okay, not that one, that one. Okay, you see that? Look at that cinch, right up on top of the leg almost, and it's soring that mule. Okay, now you see this, folks? What do we see here? Everybody kind of chime in there. What do you see about this mule? Good looking mule, huh, man? I wished I had that mule. I'd be getting something done. But take a look how it's saddled and stuff. What do you like? What do you don't like? What do you see? And notice that cinch is just tearing up that mule. Yep, it's my cinch. Oh, hey, look, it's my saddle, not my pad. So what do you think? Chime in there. Everybody needs to learn. Miss Eddie here says, now she bought this saddle for me 5 years ago, Dave.
Yeah.
5 years ago. And she got the videos and all. There we are. And my cinch soared her mule. And she's right. It did.
So I'm looking at this. Rory made the comment. He said the cinches are too far forward, which I'd agree with that. The saddle to me, and this is just what I'm looking at. The saddle to me doesn't seem like it's pushed too far forward. It looks like it's in the right position. I do know that it's not your saddle pad, and it's not perfectly square, but it's not rounded like your saddle pad is on the edge. It's not loose in the front, it's snug in the front, and it's snug in the back, which what you want is you want loose in the front, snug in the back.
Obviously that front cinch was not loose.
Yeah, and then let's see. Dave O'Brien says there's no strap between the front and the back cinches. Leslie says there's no britchin. Linda says no britchin or collar. Leslie says it's too far forward. So that's some of what we've got here. Steve, what are you seeing?
Okay, so now number one, notice it's a great big heavy wool saddle pad. Folks, look. It's the saddle pad is set directly on top of the scapula. And the saddle is too far forward. Notice that. Why do I know that? Because number one, the front cinch is not a four fingers, i.e. my fingers or yours, away from the front leg. So that tells me the saddle is sitting on top of the scapula. Now, a wool pad allows the saddle to move around. Okay? We got the other side. Here's the side, folks. Now look at the cinches. Look at the rear cinch. Look where it is. Now flip over and see the other side, the left-hand side. Right there. Notice that rear cinch. Look how low it is on the bottom, folks. The cinches are not centered. And the rear cinch is the most important cinch. The rear cinch is the anchor point, folks. Without that rear cinch being anchored in the correct place, the saddle is going to go everywhere. And obviously we can see it here. My cinch soared this mule. And this mule's got a softball size sore on his leg. My cinch did it. Okay? But because the saddle is not adjusted correctly, because it's used this great big wool pad, which will, if you go to my website, and Dave put a link down there, go to my saddle pads and watch the article or watch the video on the wool pad and my pad and see why that saddle moves so much. It'll tell you. You can see it right there. Okay, notice, yep, right, no breeching. So what's a breeching do? Breeching does not hold back the saddle. Breeching balances the saddle, does not hold it back, okay? Now, notice where the saddle is. Now, let's look at the saddle, the mule fully breeching, fully breast collared, and let's look at the saddle. Okay, folks, you see the difference? Look at the difference. Look at the front cinch. Look how it's not right up against the leg. That white underneath there that you see, that white is cinch sore. Yeah, my cinch caused it. But we cause it because we do not adjust things correctly. Now, Miss Eddie, I love her. I love a mule rider like this. Now, this mule college owner, she almost lost it. And I mean, this is a one-of-a-kind mule, folks. This is a nice mule. She says, Steve, 5 years ago I bought the saddle. 5 years ago I rigged everything all up. And little by little, one day I thought, well, I don't need collar. Well, one day I don't need breeching, okay? And then now look what we got. And here's the problem, folks. Here's the problem. You have horse people getting into the mule world, And everybody's looking at these mules without a saddle, and they're going, oh, I don't need a saddle. That guy just sold his mule for $90,000. And he wasn't riding with the breeching. No. But if you look at the pictures of the saddle, you'll see the saddle sitting on top of that $90,000 mule with the sitting on top of the scapula. Okay? Yeah, it is. And the others too that sold for a higher amount of money. Look at those saddles. They're sitting on top of the scapula. You have horse people getting into the mule world. And I understand, they finally want to ride something intelligent. They're horse people. If they were truly mule people, there would be a breeching. They would be a breast collar. You wouldn't see the saddle sitting on top of the scapula. You wouldn't see the cinch sores and this sort of thing. You see that, folks? Do you see the difference? Show me a quick picture here, Dave, without the breeching and with the breeching. Where's the saddle sitting now, folks? Do you see it? You see it? Look at that front cinch. Look at that saddle. What happens? Oh, I'm on flat ground, Steve. No, it don't make any difference. Okay? Number one, the front cinch is too tight. She says, Steve, I remember watching your video. I just forgot. And listen, this happens, folks. And here's the unfortunate problem. People would say, oh, Steve's cinch is sored my mule. Well, if they would call me like Miss Eddie did and want help, she loves this mule. This is a nice mule. This is a very expensive mule, by the way, especially if she's had surgery on top of that. But still, look at the difference. Look at how that saddle sits there away from the shoulder compared to there to being right up onto it. See that one? Away from the front leg, up underneath the front leg. A back off of the scapula, two, back on the scapula. Do you see the difference? And that great big honking saddle pad. Take that saddle pad and put it on eBay and sell it. Look at the difference. Look at the difference in my saddle pad. Okay? It's a little bit forward, but still, there it is. It's not on top of the scapula, and it's not square. Okay? Square skirted pads, they do not allow the mule to move that shoulder. Like I said, see the difference in my pad? It's away from the shoulder. Look at the other saddle pad. It's right on the shoulder. Do you see it?
So even though it's rounded off at the corner, this is still considered a square because it's not shaped to the shoulder. It's still kind of a 90-degree there.
Exactly, mule guy. And look, it's sitting on top of it. Again, go back and look at my pad. Okay, this you see the difference, folks? It's behind the scapula. You see that? Notice the hip. It's not impeding the hip. That's the reason I designed that breast collar. And Dave, we need to put this part somehow or another with my saddle pads and with the saddle someplace in there where people can see, yes, my stuff can soar an animal. Yes, it can. But if it's not put on correctly, it will. If it's put on correctly, no problems. None. Okay, does everybody see that?
Yeah, folks in the comment section, they're saying they see the big time difference.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, big time difference. They can see it.
Yeah. So here it is, folks. Here you have. Everybody's going to see my mistakes. Look, you see this guy here? He's made more mistakes than any of you would ever think about doing. I've handled a lot of mules over the years. I have crippled them. I have sored them. And I have shot them. Okay? And I've covered up my mistakes. But now I want to share it with you. And here's Miss Eddie. God bless her. She's a sweetheart. She didn't mind. Hey, show people so they can learn. So there you are. I like people like this that are willing to say, I made a mistake. Let's fix it. Okay? So Dave sent her the digital video, how to, okay? And we sent it for free, folks. You know what I told Miss Eddie? I said, I love you. You're a nice person, but I love your mule more. And I'm trying to help your mule. Okay? I really am. I want to help your mule. And folks, okay, all the time I tell everybody that buys my equipment, even if you're mad at me, you call me and let me help you out. Now, this is 5 years later. 5 years, folks. How many saddle companies do you think is going to come back and try to help you out? Think about that, okay? And I'm not just a saddle company, okay? I want you to understand. I'm here to help you. 5 years later, I'm here to help Miss Eddie. Okay, and that's with any of you. You got a problem, you let me know. I had one lady said, "Hey Steve, I got my saddle for sale for my husband. He bought it secondhand and it's hurting his behind." And I said, "Send me some pictures. Let me help you out." Okay, and it's just the opposite. She hadn't sent no pictures. Matter of fact, she said she's going to put it on YouTube and sell it. She's selling a $2,500 saddle for $1,500. And if any of you are interested in buying, it's my high-end saddle. It only weighs 21 pounds, and you can save yourself almost $1,000 on it. I'll give you this person's name so you can contact them, and you can buy that saddle. And she wants $1,500 plus shipping. I'd tell her, hey, ship it for $1,500. Anyway, there we go, folks. We learn, right, Dave? We learn by our mistakes.
Marty just says, I can tell a huge difference in my mule since I started using your pad. It's truly amazing. Rory says, it's been miraculous since learning how to properly saddle my mules by tuning into Steve's programs. Thank you, Steve. So yeah, folks know the difference. Folks can see the difference. Folks experience the difference, and that's fun to go through. Hey, I got another one here, Steve. You ready?
Go.
Tish sent this one in. Says, hope you're doing well. I contacted you a year or so ago about my beautiful mule, Ranger, whom I adopted from a fantastic rescue. After I got him, he started having allergies, was constantly scratching. I believe I contacted you because I was at my wit's end not knowing what to do. Well, we got through that fiasco, and he looks terrific. Next, he lost his companion, my 40-year-old grade horse, last September. By October, he had dropped weight and was only picking at his food. After some diagnosis testing, I found that he had severe ulcers. I treated him with GastroGuard for a month, and tests showed they fully cleared up. I changed his food, so now he only eats hay, stretcher, and safe starch forage by Triple Crown and hay all day, although he only picks at the hay. He looks great. He is so incredibly sweet. I just love him. So after giving you his history, my question is this. Should I be giving him trace mineral block or maybe trace mineral supplement? I know mules are supposed to be easy keepers, and I just want to do right by him. He does have a pony with him as a companion, and I'm contemplating on getting him a mule friend. Anyways, thank you for your professional opinion. He and I both appreciate your help. Tish, Steve, I think the first thing right off the bat is, I think there's several things. First and foremost, about the mineral supply, I think you've said that that's just a waste of money because you don't know what he might be deficient or sufficient in. So if you're spending money on a mineral supply and he's already sufficient, you're just wasting your money because he doesn't need that mineral supply, because just like you and me, our bodies naturally produce vitamins and minerals in different ways. So I think that's the first thing. Second, when you're talking about buddies and whatnot, not really one for having buddies, because now you're going to have to, if you want to go anywhere, you're going to have to take that pony. And in the future, you're going to have to take the second mule. So now you're causing a problem for yourself in that you won't be able to travel. That mule is going to give you a hard time because his buddies are not with him. And so I think that kind of addresses the first two things. Is there anything else that she's talking about here that maybe I missed or maybe you want to elaborate on?
No, hey, you hit it right on the head. Those are two things that are norms. Okay, just feed a good block salt. Put a 50-pound block of salt in there on top of a car wheel or something. Keep it up out of the mud, and just that only. Now, here's the problem. Okay, you're feeding these other feeds, and you're letting it have all the hay it wants. Folks, they don't need to be on a smorgasbord all the time. I've had people tell me they put them on a round bale, and the round bale, they go and eat on it all day long. All right, now, I want all of you that are doing that are feeding round bales and just turn them loose. I want you to go eat a smorgasbord every day, or I want you to eat some ice cream and cake every single day, and do that for the next 6 to 12 months, and tell me how many pounds you gain and how bad you feel. All right, they don't need to have all that feed in front of them, folks. Okay, nor do they need a Shetland pony. I got folks that have a goat, and they can't go nowhere without that goat. Okay, you be the herd leader. Until you learn to be a herd leader, you don't need a second animal. If you have a second animal, you're going to have more problems. Okay, so there you go. You did good. Uh, as far as that other feeding that they're doing, I'm not aware of it, but the mule is doing good. Then good for you. But make sure always float the teeth and always worming. Now, Dave, we got some good up and coming webinars. I have a couple different dentists that I've talked to that are going to be awesome, where we can talk about doing dental work and how important it is. Okay. And these dentists told me I'm the first equine trainer that they've talked to that really pushed, if you want to have a healthy animal, get their dental work done. Most of these guys don't do it, folks. They only think of one thing, and that is to ride. You need the details of this stuff, okay? Now, the other thing we're going to be doing is shoeing. I've got some professional shoers. One shoer who is a shoer for Pat Pirelli for 20 years, and this guy knows stuff. We're going to visit with him. And I got another guy that Joe, the super barbecue place in Stillwell, Oklahoma. Now, we happen to know somebody else in Oklahoma, don't we, Dave, who does taxidermy work and who ought to go over there and be eating some of that good barbecue that's in Stillwell, Oklahoma. Yeah, another story. So there we are. There we learned a little bit today, Dave.
Oh, Steve, do you want to take the last 3 minutes here and talk about the bit that bit a little bit that we were talking about ahead of time?
Oh yeah,
All right,
folks.
I'll bring it up here. Go ahead and start talking and tell us what we're about to look at.
Yeah, and we ought to use what I'm getting ready to say here, Dave, on with this bit. Okay, now this bit, folks, is my correctional mouthpiece, but I've added silver to it, so it's really designed nice. It's a beautiful bit, and if you're kind of at the place where, hey, I'd like to change bits and have something really nice looking, I got the bit. Now, not only have we designed the bit so that it's really appealing to the eye, we made it a lot more appealing to the mule in that we took the ends. Look at the right side and the left side. Notice there are balls on the end. It's rounded off and bald. It's really easy for a mule to get a strawberry patch on the corner of the mouth. Really easy. And so if you tend to be a little heavy-handed, this bit here will help you because it's got balls on the end, so it's kind of almost like ball bearings on the corners of the mouth. Oh, it's beautiful. But look how beautiful that bit is, folks. Okay? I'll guarantee you I've got a bit like this that's similar to this one here that is I've got it insured for $5,000. Now, guaranteed it is all engraved and this sort of thing, and this is silver mounted, so it is different, okay? But here's this bit. I've got a few of them here.
What do
And
you
if
call this
really,
one, Steve?
what was that?
What's the name of this bit?
You know, I should probably name this bit. I really should. I probably should name it Buckaroo.
The Buckaroo bit, baby. I like it.
Yeah, because only the Buckaroos. Now, the Buckaroo is the elite cowboy. They're the elite cowboy in Montana and in Northern California, northern part of Colorado. The Buckaroo has kind of a round hat. You see me wear it a few times, a black one, a gray one, and a strong one. And it's tipped up in the back. Buckaroos wear big, tall boots up to their knees, and they wear chinks, and they wear a lot of silver. A lot of silver on their saddles, silver on their bits, silver on the reins, and that's what this bit is. This bit is a Buckaroo style bit, but most of all, it's nice looking, but the mules love it because it's got a nice feel to it. Can you show another picture or two there, Dave, of what we got here? I don't know if we have the back side in front. See the ball, folks? You see that ball? That should really make a difference on the softness of your hands and this sort of thing. Not only is the bit pretty, okay, and it has the correct mouthpiece, but it's going to be a lot nicer on the corners of the mouth, okay? Now, the other one it's great, but I think I've probably improved it. There, that's a good picture of the back side of that bit. That's the back side of the bit. Notice the balls, folks. Notice how that bit comes up off of the flat ground, okay? That's what makes it different. My bit stands back in the mouth. The horse bit set forward in the mouth. But that's a really nice bit, folks. So you need to get in there and get a couple of them ordered for your mules. If you really want something, I mean, to really say, Okay, I've got all the tack I need. Now I just really want to make it good looking or pretty, as
Steve,
the
this
girls
one
would
comes
say.
in 5.5, and I know folks often have concerns about the size of the bit. Why just 5.5? Why not other sizes?
Okay, I'm going to say this, folks. The average mule really needs a 5.5 inch bit. 5 inch bits are usually too small on the corners of the mouth. You want to have it so that you can stick a finger in each corner of the mouth. Just because you measure, if you measure it and it comes up a 5 inch, you really should end up going a 5.5 inch. If it comes up measuring a 4.5 inch, you really should put a 5 inch bit in there. Okay, that's because mules have got a big lips and the way their head comes down. So the average bit for a mule should be 5.5 inches wide.
So there you go, folks. The Buckaroo bit. You heard it here first. You are the first to get a peek at this exquisite piece of equine tack. And like Steve said, you're looking to fill out that tack room and add a little bit of shimmer and shine without sacrificing any of the effectiveness. The Buckaroo bit is the one for you. Steve,
I think,
that's it. Let me make sure that we didn't have any other questions come in.
yeah, I
Would
think
your bit...
David Pingali is probably salivating looking at that bit now.
Yeah, I'll bet he is.
Yeah, because he's gonna buy it. He's gonna buy the Buckaroo saddle, and now he needs the Buckaroo bit.
Buckaroo
Okay,
saddle, Buckaroo bit, and that is
yeah,
that's a appetite that coffee will not satiate, my friend.
there you are.
Let's
That's right.
see. Ivy says, would this bit be big enough for a draft mule?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And see, here's the problem, folks. What you got to remember is you get into draft mules, they get big, heavy lips, and you don't want to have a 7 inch bit or a 6 inch bit on that because then you got a lot of I call it the violin bow over the violin. Okay, on these big lift draft mules, you're going to have a little bit of lip sticking out on them. But open up the mouth and see that the bit is sitting correctly on the lower jaw. That's what's important, not the lips, folks. But when it comes to mules, we don't put the bit in the mule's mouth like we do horses. Okay, and really, I never liked the way people put the a bit in a horse's mouth anyway. It's too close. But there you go. It would work very, very nice on your draft mule. Yes.
Awesome. Let's see here. David Pendigali goes, Steve, how did you know? Leslie asks, when will it be for sale? Leslie, I'm hoping to have it up before the end of the week, and we will send out an email as soon as it's ready. So be sure to get on it when it comes out because it's limited supply, so to speak. We only have a certain amount on hand, so
And
be
that's
sure to get it.
exactly right.
That's exactly right.
We only had so many of these made because they are high end to make.
Yep. Very fun. Very pretty. Awesome. That's it. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Really do appreciate it. Steve talked about a couple of webinars coming up. As soon as we get dates for those, be on the lookout in your email because we will be giving you those dates so you can sign up. And just like all of the webinars, it will be free. There you go. Absolutely free. We sure do hope that you will join us. Steve, anything you want to say before we are all finished here?
Hey, folks! See that mule guy we got here? He's got 3 boys. Notice how he's graying out. Yeah, he's graying. Look on the sides and this
I
sort of
got
thing. Yeah,
some cinch sores right here.
sensors. Yeah,
Coming
that's
from
called
the
3
inside out.
boys. And now he's got a teenager. Ha ha ha! Woo!
It's
All right, see you later, mule guy. See
see you
everybody.
guys. Take care. God bless. We will see
Yeah,
you all
text
again.
me if you want that saddle, and text me if you want to get in line to buy that bit.
There you go. Awesome. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.